I think 345 km/h.
Now, for those of you who are about to run out to your car dashboard so you can calculate a conversion, don't bother. Your speedometer doesn't even come close to having that number on it.
This was Murcielago on the German motorways. It's a nice feeling, it's a beautiful feeling.
Driving 215 miles per hour on the German Autobahn in a 2-ton rocket. See, Balboni is a test driver.
Being a test driver is something. Being a test driver at Lamborghini is something different. He's much more than a car tester for me. He's the person that links the past to the future.
Well, the past and the future are both here at Lamborghini, where the museum shows history while the factory creates history. One handcrafted car at a time. And of course, the history of Lamborghini starts back when nobody knew the car, but a lot of people knew the man. He was a farmer turned businessman who put his heart and his soul into a dream. The dream came true, but not without a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and a lot of hard work. In his lifetime, he saw everything from the birth of mass-produced automobiles to state-of-the-art supercars. This innovator was a determined individual who knew what discriminating drivers wanted, simply by knowing what he wanted. His name was Ferruccio Lamborghini.
Ferruccio Lamborghini was actually a farmer with a lot of good ideas.
Good ideas like selling air conditioners back when those machines were just in their infancy. He also made a lot of money by, well, as Balboni tells it, by taking part in a little thievery.
After the war, he went stealing military vehicles, removing the engine and building tractors for the farmers. And this is the way he started his business.
And now, even a decade after his passing, it's amazing what a farmer and a few stolen tractors have built. So here, the shop is about to enter its 5th decade of handcrafting some of the most incredible supercars in the world. From start to finish, from rear to front, it all comes together here, in a place that is part science lab, part sewing shop, part engine factory, but of course, 100% Lamborghini. At times, it might seem that it's all about machines in this high-tech workshop, but of course, what it's really about is people. Everyone here is both highly trained and highly motivated, and while certain areas require an assembly line of workers, there's nothing assembly line about the product, with only a handful of Lambos coming out of this shop each and every year.
I like work because it's a very interesting work and there is a good car.
Everywhere you look, you see parts being prepped for our Murcielago Roadster, and these parts are as identifiable as trademarks. A glance in one direction, there are those famous scissor doors from a Lambo. Not far from there, vents are fitted and put into position for the next big step. Elsewhere on the premises, work continues on a front bumper, a $14,000 piece of carbon fiber. Yards away is a 100-liter fuel tank, part of a 12-cylinder system that is sure to include a high-octane gas guzzler's tax when sold to any U.S. Lambo fiend. Further and deeper into yet another area of the shop, you'll find a steering column that's getting the business, a unit that will hold the key to a Lamborghini. And that key will turn in a new generation of Lambos. Just like the keys that once started 3 other models of Lamborghini. 3 names that are exclusive and legendary. Names that paved the way for the car we know today as the Murcielago. Today, much of the legend of the Lamborghini is essentially based on 3 groundbreaking cars. Models that put the company on the map and then went on to reinvent the map. The cars in question, the groundbreaking Miura that debuted in the mid-60s. Miura was an absolute pioneer of a road car that took Lamborghini from promising newcomer to serious top contender. Spanning both the 70s and the 80s, the Lambo to beat was the angular and muscular Countach. The shape was a riot of creative genius, ignoring any previous rules of car design. It's a ride that some say actually started what's known today as the era of the supercar. And the car that defined Lamborghini in the 90s? The sleek and powerful Diablo, inching closer to luxury while retaining the radical. Diablo kept the company competitive, even when the competition by then could probably be counted on one finger. All three of those models were pure Lamborghini.
This is a car where if you are 1 second not concentrate, you feel all your nerves in the whole body for 10 seconds or more. You have to push yourself to the limits. And you know that the weakest point, the weakest link in the chain is not the car, it's you.
Make no mistake about it, the workers in the Lamborghini factory have just the opposite thoughts when it comes to their contribution to the build. All of these workers are specialists, and in this area of the shop, they happen to be specialists about brakes, about calipers, and especially about safety guidelines. Because these things are going to have to stop a car that loves traveling at speeds deep into the 3-digit range. Over in this region of the factory, it's all about leather and the many ways in which it can find its way into and onto a deluxe Lamborghini interior. The shop uses the highest grade Italian leather available, vat dyed and brought together with a bold baseball stitch, highlighting the very seams that a lot of upholsterers would rather hide. Nearby, it's craftsmanship of another sort, with the construction of carbon fiber parts, handmade pieces that need to be both lightweight and strong. With carbon fiber being used for so much of this car, we're reminded that it has become the new tool in this modern age of supercars. In fact, it's also an application that is put on one of the arch rivals of the Lamborghini. A little car known as the Ferrari. The Ferrari came from a car builder named Enzo Ferrari, and Enzo's car is one that has a long history with the Lamborghini. In fact, before he was making cars, Ferruccio Lamborghini was driving a Ferrari. Bringing us to the clutch of a certain Ferrari. It was a clutch that would prove to be of historic proportions.
He bought a Ferrari because at those times was the car to have, was the car representing a status symbol. And he was always complaining with the clutch of his Ferrari. So one day during inspection at his car in Maranello, he met Enzo Ferrari. And he was complaining with Enzo Ferrari about his car. And Enzo Ferrari told him, you can't complain with my cars because you are a tractor driver, you are a farmer, and you have not to complain. And he was very upset about this story, and he told him, I will make my own car and I will show you how the clutch must operate.
Well, years later, Lamborghini showed Ferrari and the world more than just a working clutch. He also showed everybody a serious contender in the elite world of high-end automobiles when he built this first production Lamborghini, the 350 GT. Back with the build, we return to our wheel assembly. Spindle by spindle and rotor by rotor, the project is clearly coming together. A car this powerful is going to need some pretty sizable brakes, and the